So this video is going to be discussing the theory behind my rules and procedures for Mr. Skidmore's 11th grade science classes. So starting off, we're going to take a look at the memes real quick that we're going to be using, because I think that memes are a good way to connect with students, and that will allow them to be more inclined to remember the different rules and procedures in my classroom. Starting off, we have our first meme where Drake is not approving of cap, but he is approving of no cap. We have our second meme where Frankenstein's monster doesn't seem like a monster at first, but then he says, "I know the bell just rung, but can I go to the bathroom?" proving he's a monster. We have our next meme, "But I was in the room when the bell rung. Whoa, this is worthless." We have our fourth meme, guy passing note in class with a question on the note that reads, "Can I borrow a pencil?" How would it get there unless he had one to begin with? Next meme, we have a prison cell where someone is in jail because they didn't do their homework for Mr. Skidmore, to which the murderer moves very far away from them. Sixth meme, out of our 7 total, Terry is reading a book called The Art of School, where he later says that he asks questions during Mr. Skidmore's class, which is good. Class engagement is very important. Our last meme is, to survive in the wild, you'll need a reliable source of water. Then a yellow guy says to blue guy, there are too many rules and procedures, to which blue guy starts crying, because there are not too many rules and procedures. It's 7 memes. Relax. Explain how I'll teach let me get back to my first screen. Let me talk about how I will teach and engage my students. So the memes are going to be my base form of teaching and engaging the students. However, for things like parents and administration, you don't need to engage them in your rules and procedures, so I will probably have a written up version that I can just hand them and say, this is what goes on in my classroom. However, when I'm delivering this material to my students, I prefer to use memes because I think that's much more engaging for them. But you don't need to be engaged because you're an adult. How will I assess my students for their understanding of the rules and procedures? Explain and give examples. So I will be using a game of group whiteboards, where students will get into groups of 3 or 4. Each group gets a whiteboard, a dry erase marker. I'll ask them a question about the rules and procedures, like, should you wear hats in the classroom? And the students are there in their groups, sitting around their whiteboards thinking, is there a meme that we can relate back to this we may have seen? And then they'll see that in their brain because they've seen it in class. And they'll remember, wait, you're not supposed to wear hats in the classroom. And they'll write on the whiteboard, no, you're not supposed to wear hats in the classroom. They'll hold it up for the teacher, and I'll look over at the back of the room and be like, that is correct. And it'll be fantastic because students will get the answers right. So I will assess these relatively often throughout the school year. I believe that after major breaks, like the 2-week break we have in December for New Year's and the 1-week break we have to celebrate spring, I believe after those breaks we should recheck our rules and procedures, and potentially even after something like Thanksgiving break. Because if students out of the classroom for too long, they might forget the rules and procedures. That's not a primary thing to them. That's more of a secondary. And it's my job as a classroom teacher to reinforce that so it does become a primary thing. Because just like I say when I am explaining my Drake meme, it's more than just a hat rule. It's a respect rule. And you want to make sure you keep respect at its highest in the classroom. And students need that reinforcement, So how will I display my rules and procedures? Let's go back to this screen. We will be displaying our rules and procedures on the wall. I believe that I want to get all of these memes that you have seen laminated. I want to put them up on my wall. Well, not the whiteboard, but the memes themselves. Because, that might be kind of neat. And, the students sitting there in class daydreaming, and they look on the wall and they're like, I remember those rules and procedures. I could do good. I could take a whiteboard test right now and I could ace it. And that's the goal. You want students to be able to understand the rules and procedures, maybe not even the theory behind them, but understand what they're doing and when. Being able to follow those rules and procedures will allow your classroom to run really smooth and efficient, and it'll just make the quality of life of everyone in there so much better. So I believe we have covered how we will display them, how often we will revisit them, how will you assess your student understanding, and how you will teach and engage. So that covers it. thank you for watching.